Eat, Sleep, Boxing, Repeat. We are back for another weekly preview. Myself and my esteemed co-colleague, my co-conspirator, Paul Kelly. Paul, we're going to obviously talk about the three fights. We've got three fights as we usually have, three fights to break down. A couple of these are genuine super fights. We're in two different locations. We're in Las Vegas at the MGM, and we are in Dublin at the Three Arena. Without wanting to give away too much, obviously, of who those fights are, you might have guessed what we're going to talk about already. But we're going to start in Ireland because many of you may be able to tell from Paul's accent that Paul is indeed an Irish man. And we're going to come to him now to take us through the first fight that's happening in Dublin. Paul, I believe you'll be there. But also, if you can take us through that fight. And the floor is yours, sir. And if you'd like to just wish everyone well and tell everyone how you're doing at the same time.
Yeah, thanks for that, mate. Thanks for that lovely introduction. You are indeed correct. We thought, some massive fights. We didn't know which one to go first, but why not? Why not go for this one? It's as big as any. Um, all four belts at super lightweight. On the line. Of course, we are talking about Katie Taylor against Chantelle Cameron for all the marbles. Quick tail of the tape, as we always do before we get into the nitty gritty. Katie Taylor's 22-0 with 6 stoppages, 36 years old now. Orthodox fighter. Stands at 5'5" tall and has a 66-inch reach. Of course, she is already a two-weight world champion, more known as the undisputed lightweight champion, but has previously fought at super lightweight and won a single world title there. In the opposite corner, we of course have Chantelle Cameron. She too is undefeated, 17-0, 8 stoppages, 5 years the younger at 31, 3 inches taller at 5'8". She's got a 3-inch reach advantage as well at 69-inch reach, also orthodox, and she is, of course, the undisputed super lightweight champion. So, combined, obviously Taylor has every belt at lightweight, Cameron has every belt at super lightweight. It is going to be the super lightweight belts that are on the line, of course, with Taylor moving up. So yeah, it's an absolutely incredible fight. Quick, you look at kind of both resumes here. Chantelle Cameron had a great win last time out against Jessica McCaskill to win all of the belts in their unification undisputed clash. This is her sixth consecutive world title fight for Chantelle Cameron, whereas you look at Katie Taylor, and this is her 17th consecutive world title fight now. She's beaten the likes of Delphine Persoon twice, McCaskill as well, Natasha Jonas, Lina Dartu, and of course that incredible Amanda Serrano victory, at MSG, I believe it was last year. So yeah, what a fight we have on our hands, undefeated against undefeated. It's unbelievable. The atmosphere in Dublin is going to be electric. Elliot, we could talk about this fight for hours, I think, but I'm gonna just ask you a couple of questions first and foremost. Number one, do you think that the fact Katie Taylor is 36 years old now and maybe reaching the end of her career, not saying she's gone downhill or is over the hill or anything, but she is, in the latter stages of a career, do you think that the step up a few pounds in weight will help her? Or do you feel that Chantelle Cameron, 3 inches taller and all that, will be too big, and this could be Katie Taylor suffering the first defeat of her career in front of her hometown fans? How do you see that playing out?
Well, first off, all, thank you very much for that eloquent breakdown, also for bringing the excitement to what is obviously a big and exciting event. I'm going to answer your questions by saying that I actually am quite worried about Katie Taylor here. Genuinely, don't get me wrong, I think Katie Taylor's a fantastic fighter, brilliant fighter, been great for female boxing, been great for boxing in general. And obviously, I really want the homecoming victory for her. I think she deserves that, frankly. But I am a little bit concerned about the size difference and also, obviously the moving up. I mean, you mean in some ways you'd like to think that Katie Taylor sees the final bell, Katie Taylor will win, is how I kind of see it. So potentially from that perspective, hometown crowd, etc., fighting on Cameron, not obviously a huge puncher necessarily. Obviously, I mean, again, not bad, but I do actually think I can actually potentially see an upset here. I know you might be. I mean, you're looking at me now like I'm prey, like you're about to come over the top of me in a minute and say it's going to be Katie Taylor. But I am quite concerned. I think Katie Taylor is obviously coming to the end of her career. Don't get me wrong, she's a fantastic fighter in a similar way, like you can say with Canelo, still brilliant, but is visibly on the decline. I think personally for me, so I am a bit concerned that this might not go as everyone wants it to go. But heart would love to see Katie Taylor win. Head would not be surprised if Chantelle Cameron sprung an upset here.
Yeah, for me, it is a genuine 50-50 fight. I think there's so many different factors that you kind of play their part here. Obviously, the weight, the size advantage of Cameron, but then at the same time, Bar McCaskill, who has Cameron fought that's elite. I know sometimes a lot of people would say that in female boxing, especially, the divisions aren't, the depth of the divisions aren't as great. But, you look at Katie Taylor's resume. and she has some outstanding wins there. So resume wise, your favourite Katie Taylor. She's beaten the better fighters. Cameron, younger, fresher, bigger. I really don't know. I'm of course going to back Katie Taylor to win this one. I'm going to say I think it's going points. Wouldn't be surprised if it was another split decision, just like it was against Serrano. But yeah, and just a cracking event, an unbelievable fight, and yeah, definitely worthy of us are leading our weekly preview this week. It was, of course, close. There's another humongous fight happening stateside, of course, which you alluded to previously, Elliot. And if you want to take us through this, I believe all belts are on the line in this fight as well, and what a fight it is.
Paul, thank you very much for coming off the long run there, introducing this one again, which is like you said, another super fight. We are obviously in the MGM Grand Las Vegas Arena, famous obviously for Floyd Mayweather in many ways, but we are here for a world lightweight title. Again, all the belts on the line. We're looking at Devin Haney versus Vasiliy Lomachenko. Both guys, obviously, you'll be familiar with, but as is custom, we will do a tail of the tape. Devin Haney, 29-0 with 15 KOs, 24 years old, 5'8" with a 71-inch reach advantage. Comes into this contest with back-to-back UD wins over Kambosos. But and obviously on his record, he's got wins over Joseph Diaz, Linares, Gamboa, Abdaliev. There's names on that record there. So in a way, the man, obviously at lightweight in what is obviously also a stacked division. Lomachenko, again, no introduction needed, but we will be giving him introduction. 35 years old, so significantly older, 5'7", 65.5-inch reach advantage, 17-2 with 11 KOs. Obviously, those losses being a surprise loss, still surprises me to this day, the way he lost to Teofimo Lopez, and obviously second pro loss against Salido. But his campaign, obviously, at featherweight, super feather, lightweight now, so he's obviously moving through the divisions. I suppose there were suspicions that he may have been somewhat, obviously he had the shoulder injury, may have been somewhat on the decline, but obviously that victory that he put in over Richard Comey, which was frankly destructive and quite unpleasant and difficult to watch in parts. But he comes into this fight obviously with a victory over Jermaine Ortiz. So yeah, Paul, we've got this is a hell of a fight, isn't it? Frankly, you look around that lightweight division, you look at what happened recently. We obviously had Garcia versus Tank, other names obviously kicking out of the division. You think no matter really who you match at that kind of top end of that division, it's going to be unbelievable, and we are in for another unbelievable fight. What I would say to you, Paul, is this: Lomachenko is potentially quite small at the weight still, isn't he? Which is quite weird to say a lightweight, but a smaller lightweight necessarily. Devin Haney, we looked frankly unwell when he stood on the scales against Kambosos. There's obviously larger man at that weight. Given what we've seen with that weight cut, but also with the difference possibly with Lomachenko moving up, do you see this as Haney having potentially too much size-wise on the night when he boils himself down? Do you see him cruising to a points victory here? Or do you think Lomachenko can frankly learn from the lessons against Teofimo Lopez, start sooner, and outpoint Haney himself?
Thanks, Elliot, for that eloquent breakdown. This fight is just incredible, honestly. I can't wait for this fight now. It's fast approaching as well, and it's such a good fight. I did a preview or a big fight breakdown with Owen on this one, and we were in disagreement on who we thought would win the fight. And a few of those things that you mentioned there, Haney, struggling. Well, obviously he made the weight, but he didn't look great. Both Kambosos fights, I don't see him hanging around at lightweight forever, no matter whether he wins or loses here. I think he will inevitably move up to super lightweight, but I'm just glad to see all these lightweights fighting each other now. We were talking about it for ages, and none of the fights were happening. We've just had Garcia Davis. We're getting Haney Lomachenko, obviously, and Andy Cruz now going to be campaigning at lightweight. It won't be long until he's up in the upper echelons of the lightweight division as well. But for this fight, do you know what? To answer your question, Elliot, I can see Lomachenko winning this fight, and I have visions of Lomachenko winning this fight. I really do fancy his chances here. Not that Devin Haney, I don't think he's a complete and world level fighter. There's just something telling me Lomachenko's going to win, and we'll kind of roll back the years here. And I'm probably going to say something a bit outlandish and come back to haunt me. But
this is going to be brilliant. Come on, Paul. Come on, baby. Give it to us.
With Haney looking, yeah, as you said, quite ill at the weight. He's clearly a bigger frame and quite tight at the weight. I think there will be vulnerabilities to the body, and who's better to exploit vulnerabilities than Vasiliy Lomachenko? He's an elite technician. He can do anything. He moves and throws a couple of punches, then he's already at the other side of the ring. It's quite incredible. Do not be surprised if Lomachenko stops Haney to the body here. That's what I'm going to say. I do. I would have to edge towards Lomachenko on points here, personally. But, I wouldn't be one bit surprised if we saw down the stretch Haney was struggling, and Lomachenko kind of took him out to the body. If he has, if he has indeed struggled to make the weight. It's a bold prediction, I know, but yeah, what a fight! And I just can't wait to watch it. I don't think, I'm not sitting here saying that it's going to be one-sided. Haney will have his moments. It will be a close fight, but something's telling me that Lomachenko is going to get it done and could even stop Haney.
Well, thank you for obviously caveating that as well and saying you think Lomachenko will win on points, but we'll snip it out and that'll already be shorted that you're going for a KO to the body, so that no one will ever hear that you're actually predicting points. I'm going to go. I actually think Haney will win on points personally, but again, it's a massive fight. It's a super fight. I wouldn't be equally surprised if Loma won on points. I just kind of feel like Haney will essentially use the reach advantages he has to try and keep Lomachenko off. But to be honest, it's one of those fights where whoever wins, I'm happy. I'm just happy to watch him. Happy it's taking place. Paul, we like to keep these reviews, don't we? Kind of shortish and sweet and snappy. So we are going to now move sadly on from what are two mammoth super fights, still to another world title fight though, which is taking place at the MGM, on the undercard. I don't want to say anything more. I'm going to pass back over to you, Paul, to discuss it, please.
You're indeed correct, Elliot. Obviously, the undercard of Haney Lomachenko here. We've got another world title fight. We're 2 for 2 here in disagreement, so I wonder if we'll make it a full house here. You've got Junto Nakatani against Andrew Moloney here. Take quick tail of the tape as we always do. Nakatani is 24-0, 18 stoppages, big puncher, 25 years old, Japanese fighter, southpaw as well, 5'7.5", 67.5-inch reach. Former flyweight champion, world champion, moving up here as well, obviously. Then you look at Andrew Moloney in the other corner, 25-2 with 16 KOs. Both reasonably big punchers, I suppose, at the weight. Nakatani probably just more so. Moloney's orthodox fighter, 5'5", a bit smaller, also a smaller inch reach at 65. Australian, obviously, he's had 3 attempts at the world title, 4, all against Joshua Franco. Lost twice, and one was a no contest, obviously. You look at Nakatani, he's beaten the likes of Magramo, Acosta, Yamauchi. This is his second fight up at super flyweight now, 115 pounds, obviously. Moloney's beaten the likes of Luis Concepcion, Miguel Gonzalez, a few other names in there. This is a great fight. It's a great chief support, world title action in the super flyweight division. My question to you, Elliot, is one, is it 4th time lucky for Andrew Moloney to win a world title here? Or will Junto Nakatani become a 2-weight world champion and move to 25-0? How do you see this one going?
You know what, Paul? Well, thank you again. You know what? I would love to see Moloney win this. Of course, I would 4 times, but I don't see it happening. I see it being 4 times, unfortunately. Well, I was going to say failure, but it's not really failure. 4 times, I suppose, of just slipping just before the final stretch. I think Nakatani is going to win this, and I think it'll be by stoppage, frankly. So yeah, I think I watch Moloney versus Franco. I watch Moloney more, I suppose, than I have, to be honest with you, Nakatani. But I watch Nakatani against Yamauchi as well, and I just feel like I've seen highlights, packages, etc. I feel like he'll stop him, frankly, at some point. So yeah, sad as it is to say that, because I'd love to see Moloney win, but I just think unfortunately it's going to be 4 times unlucky.
Yeah, do you know what? We're not going 3 for 3. I agree with you on this one, to be honest with you. I think Nakatani is frightening puncher. Still only 25. Wouldn't be surprised to see him, move through the weight divisions as well. He's obviously, I wouldn't be surprised to see him move up to bantam, maybe even super bantam, who knows. But yeah, 24-0, 18 stoppages. I could see that becoming 19 stoppages. I don't think it would blast Moloney out of there. Moloney's very game and is a world level fighter in his own right. I just see it being a mid to late round stoppage for Nakatani. Moloney could make it difficult, but yeah, I have to agree with you, to be honest with you, mate. I think Nakatani might have a little bit too much here. And yeah, will become a 2-weight world champion for me as well.
Paul, everyone, thank you very much for joining us for this week. Obviously, like we said, we've got 2 huge super fights. As we like to always say, let us know whether you agree with us. Let us know whether you disagree with us. Paul, we agree with probably one of us, because Paul and I have disagreed 2 out of 3. Let us know which one you think has got over the line there. Secondly, as Paul did mention in the video, we've got deep fight breakdowns, interviews, other sort of content coming up, written and video. So check out the channel, obviously, for those. Paul, my last thing I want to say to you, actually, well, I'll say to the viewers first, thank you guys for watching, but Paul, I'm going to leave my last sentiments for you this week, which is, Paul, thank you very much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you again, bud, for another weekly preview next week.